So do I start over? Hello, my name is Ron Bennett, and this is my lovely wife, Stacy Bennett. And we're glad to have you take the time and be with us today. We're making this video because we wanted to share with other people about our experience and what we've had to endure with COVID and what so many others have had to go through with COVID as well. We're hoping that maybe this video can give you some hope, can give you some insight as to maybe what you can do to get better, and that is our hope. And so thank you for sitting in and watching this video with us. I just want to say that, first of all, that our experience with COVID started back in November 15th. And my wife, Stacy, and I, we ended up in the hospital with COVID. We spent 2.5 weeks, almost 3 weeks total, with double pneumonia, and we're in the hospital with it. And to be honest with you, it was not a very good experience, and there was a high likelihood that both of us would not even maybe pull through this and survive. But we're here today to let you know that there is a Savior. His name is Jesus Christ. And no matter what you've been through, what you're going through now, if you have COVID, or you, or maybe perhaps this is your second, some people have even had a third experience with COVID. And you're frustrated, you're at a loss of what to do, you're frustrated maybe with the doctors, you want to give up. But we just want to share with you and tell you again, there is a God. His name is Jesus Christ, and He's bigger than COVID. He's bigger than cancer. He's bigger than any other medical condition that you may be going through today. And we're asking that you just put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, and know that He has healing power that can heal you from this. So I'll let my wife Stacy say a few words. I won't be the person that does all the talking here, so I'll give her some time to speak.
I'm a nurse practitioner, or was. Still have my license, but not able to practice. My ordeal began on November the 16th. My husband got sick November 15th, 2021. And the 16th I went into work, was sent home because I was coughing, just not feeling well at all. On the 17th, the next day, we both went in to be tested. We both tested positive for COVID, of course. My husband's lungs were checked at that time. They were fine. I did not have an x-ray. We were sent home to do our isolation period. Excuse me. And on November the, let me think. I think it was the 22nd. We started to feel really ill. Of course, you're supposed to get up and move around, lay side to side when you're sick so it doesn't set up pneumonia. But we were just feeling so really bad. We got up as much as we could, but nothing seemed to work. At that time, I was getting really, really short of breath. So we called a friend to take us to the hospital, and she came to get us after she got off work, which she had to. She wasn't allowed to leave work. She took us to a hospital that we had requested, a small hospital, because my husband being a veteran, they would take his insurance. We got there, we were admitted. At the time I had stridor, and I know if you don't know what stridor is, it's like breathing through a straw. And the airway is closed, but you've got this little bitty hole that'll let you breathe out. Well, when you take that breath, you're going to hear a large squeal like a pig. That's the way I was breathing. It was so loud that the doctors, they didn't know what to do. They put 2 masks on me. I had 100% oxygen non-rebreather mask and a binasal cannula like I'm wearing now to try to get me to where I could be. They transported me back to the room. Of course, my husband was admitted later in the same room. They came in. The doctor actually told us, he said, I really don't know what to do, but we're going to throw everything at you. Nothing seemed to work. So they transported me emergency via ambulance on the November the 25th to a larger hospital that was close by. The EMTs at the time, they really didn't know what to do because they didn't know how to hook the oxygen up because I was starting to crash. Got to that hospital and was admitted on November the 25th. So we both spent approximately almost 3 weeks in that hospital. I was put on high flow oxygen, which forcefully pushes oxygen into you to get the percentage that you need. We were put on remdesivir, which I'm not a fan of, but it was either that or basically die because we were to that point. And when you're faced with that, you just do what you can do. We had all kinds of medications, of course, antibiotics, IV antibiotics, they had us on everything that they could possibly do for us. They did discuss putting me on a BiPAP machine or possibly intubating me, which I wasn't in favor of, but I was not going to refuse because what's your alternative? You're going to pass away one way or the other. But I never gave up hope while I was in the hospital. I prayed and I prayed. And, excuse me. I asked God to heal my husband and I could feel His presence. So I know we were going to be okay. It was going to take a long time, but we were going to be okay. My husband was released first, and I chose to go home with him. But just know that everything's going to be all right. I mean, I am still on oxygen since November. It is now July the 9th, 2022. I have 3 different pulmonologists, 2 at Vanderbilt in Nashville, 1 in Dixon. They are all 3 wonderful. They all specialize in a different form of pulmonology, and each one is working together. So I'm very blessed with that. They have discussed a bilateral lung transplant if everything else fails. I have been, through a lot. Right now, I've gone down from 100% oxygen in the hospital to 2 liters by nasal cannula per minute. So I am blessed and fortunate in that way. It did affect my lungs. It affected the lungs from the top to the bottom, mostly causing scarring and thickening in the middle and lower lobes. So a lot of times I have where you can't hear any air in the bottom part of my lobes. It makes difficulty breathing. I am in pulmonary rehab, which has helped a lot. I'm blessed with some really good therapists. But I continue to do what I can do. I had a friend that was nice enough to get me a treadmill for home, so I can use that to help strengthen my lungs. That's one of the things that I do is a treadmill and a recumbent bike. And that's about an hour, at least 3 times a week that I'm supposed to be doing. So whatever the doctors or the therapists tell you to do, that's what you do. I am on a BiPAP at night. That helps me to breathe. I have my oxygen hooked up to it. The pulmonologist at Vanderbilt's trying to get the alveoli, which is like the little grapes in your lungs, to expand because mine did collapse. And they are just flat. So they are hoping that this BiPAP will open up those little sacs so that I can breathe better, because the COVID also did affect my diaphragm, which is my breathing muscles. I'm having tests in the end of the month to see if it's actually paralyzed or if it's just impaired. But the doctor suspects it's just impaired because, she does see my diaphragm moving, and I feel that she's right on that. I definitely am improving. I do in the future. I'm looking forward to opening my own clinic one day. So I keep holding on to that and praying. I had a pastor come down from Arkansas to our church on Father's Day, this past Father's Day, and said God led him. What? What happened?
We're sorry about that. Oh, okay. I thought it was still.
It is.
I don't know what happened.
No, neither. We're sorry about that. Something happened to the video, so I guess you have to splice them together. This is the first time we've ever done this, and we're just trying to put that information out to the public on our experience. As I was saying, I did have a pastor come to our church on Father's Day. This is past Father's Day, to pray for me. He said that God had placed it on his heart to pray for somebody in that church.
Yes, he did.
And he said he waited a few days to get confirmation because he thought, well, maybe I'm just dreaming it up. But he said it definitely was a confirmation, and he was getting ready to call the pastor to come down there. And the pastor called him. So he did show up, and he was telling us about his experience and his life experience as well. And he did come over to me at the end, and he said, I believe this is for you. So he and the whole church prayed a wonderful prayer for me. And at that time, I was having trouble breathing.
And they laid hands on you.
Right. And I was getting ready to tell my husband, we're going to have to leave the service because I can't breathe. And when they did that, I automatically felt the presence of the Lord.
Amen.
I could feel that my breathing had eased up. It wasn't 100%, but I was breathing a lot better, and where I could stay for the service. Within that week, I had no difficulty breathing. I still wore my oxygen because, that's what the doctors tell you to do, whether it's 90% or 98% or 100%. When you have respiratory failure, COVID pneumonia, and pulmonary fibrosis, as well as interstitial lung disease caused by COVID, that is something they really want you to do, is to keep your oxygen above 90% regardless. So I did follow that. But I believe I could have probably got up and walked around without it. Today, and yesterday I had a little trouble breathing, but it was more, I think it was weather related, because we're having over 100-degree temperatures with a lot of humidity here in Tennessee right now. So that does affect my breathing some. But I do believe that God is in the healing process, and I'm going to find out at the end of the month what my scans show. I've got some more tests to show, and I'm hoping that this will be completely healed by then. That my CT scan will show no scarring and no fibrosis, and I am holding on to that and believing in that and claiming it. So just know that you are not alone in this situation. Things happen. It takes a long time to heal. It's not going to happen overnight. Just know that you are going to get better. You have a God that loves you.
That's right.
And he is going to be there for you regardless. You just have to ask. If you don't ask, then you won't receive.
And I want to just say this also to those that are going to see this video. 2 years ago, I had something happen to me that was supernatural. My wife and I were in bed. It was about 2 o'clock in the morning. Sound asleep, dreaming, minding our own business. And the Holy Spirit came to me and woke me up. Brought me straight out of my bed. Led me into our living room and to the stairs, which are right over behind my right shoulder. And at the bottom of those stairs, I was suddenly on my knees, and I could hear this tremendous voice. And this voice, while I was on my knees and my head bowed, this voice, just as you hear me now talking audibly, this voice, so powerful, spoke to me, and it went right through me, went right through my body. And this voice was who I believe to be no other than Jesus Christ himself, was telling me, he said, his words, not mine, his words, tell them I'm coming very soon. Tell them I am coming very, very soon. And as I was on my knees and my hands were clasped together, I said, yes, Lord, I promise I will tell them. I promise I will tell them you're coming soon. And this lasted for maybe, I don't know, maybe a minute. And then when I thought it was over with, I got up off my knees, walked back into our bedroom, climbed back into bed. My wife still sound asleep. She never knew that I left the bedroom. When I climbed back into bed, bam, suddenly again, the Lord spoke to me a second time. And I was out of my bed, on my knees beside my bed, and this time the Holy Spirit was there again. The Jesus that I love and know to be true and real and alive, a Jesus who loves you, loves me, wants to save your soul, wants to save my soul, wants to save everyone's soul, spoke to me a second time. A loving, loving God. And he told me, tell them. And he reinforced it. Tell them I'm coming again soon, very soon. Tell them. So there was a sense of urgency in his words when he spoke to me. And again, I told him, yes, Lord, I promise you, I will tell them you're coming again very soon. So I'm sharing this with you, and I want you to know he is coming again very soon. I know for years we've heard this, passed down through generations. Long ago, we've always heard through the years that Jesus is coming again very soon, but you only have to look in the world today and what's going on in the world, in our country, in other countries. Ukraine and Russian, the war there. Look at everything we're going through in our country now. Stores are having food shortages. The weather is changing crazy. It's extremely hot, and there's so much we're going through, and with this COVID. And the one thing that I, as a husband to my lovely wife, that I'm concerned with was, the doctors told her that at Vanderbilt, that if she were to contract COVID a second time, because she only has 42% lung capacity, breathing capacity, she could live maybe 2 to 3 years with the COVID that she had. But if she were to catch it a second time, she would not survive. So right now we're hoping and praying that God has healed her, and that's what we're holding on to. That's where our faith is and what we're believing. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you, and to let you know that there is hope. There is a God. His name is Jesus Christ, and he loves you, and he wants you to invite him into your heart and let him be the Lord of your life and your family's life. He can heal anything you're going through. It matters not. It does not matter if you're going through drugs, alcohol, anything. It just doesn't matter. There's nothing on this earth that the Lord can't heal and the Lord can set you free from. He can break those chains of bondage. So just know that no matter what you're going through, and depression, there's so many different things, but just know that we love you, we care about you, but there's a Jesus that has such a greater love for you, and he wants to be your Lord and Savior. He wants to not only save your soul, but he wants to have a personal relationship with you. Okay, so just humble yourself, and that's what I had to do. I had to come to a point in my life where I realized that I was running from God, and I discovered I was only running tired, and the Lord's going to catch up with you one day. And he did with me, and he got my attention. And so does this mean that I'm not going to sin anymore, or that I'm perfect or anything like that? No. But I have found that Jesus is a loving and forgiving God, and no matter what you've done in your lifetime, no matter what your past is that you've done, does not matter. Jesus will wipe that slate clean. He'll give you a new life. He'll give you a new spirit, a new heart. He will change your life, and you will come to know that there is a God, and his name is Jesus, and he loves you so much, and he wants to save your soul, so that one day you'll be with him in heaven. And just know that he's got a mansion waiting for you, just for you. So I just wanted to share that little bit with you. And he is coming very, very soon, and we believe that wholeheartedly. He is coming very soon. The signs are showing it. And so anyway, I'll turn it back over to my wife.
I've just got one more thing to say. I forgot to mention about the hair part. With COVID, you have not everybody, but a lot of people have a lot of hair loss.
Oh, yeah.
My husband's completely almost fell out on the top.
Yep.
And mine
almost
fell out.
bald.
Yeah. And on both sides of my hair and the back, I've got the top looks okay, but if I were to take my hair down, you could see I've only got just a few strands of hair. I thought about, shaving it off, but I haven't. Just going to let it do what it does. We've been taking some vitamin supplements and stuff like that. Which
tell them what the name of the vitamins are that we're taking.
Well, I'd have to look it up. I don't have it offhand right now. But
there'll be a part 2 video, so we'll have that information.
But it really did help him with his, and he continues to take them, and it
Yes.
helps with other things. I'm not saying it's over the counter. I'm not promoting any brands. I'm not getting paid by anybody.
No.
So it's just something that we did, and feel free to do it if you want to.
And another thing, I don't mean to interrupt, but there's another thing. I believe in these pills that I'm taking also for men. If you have, hear me, if you have prostate problems like I have, these pills have really helped me tremendously, have they not?
Yes.
I mean, they really have. Getting up to go to the bathroom 3, 4, 5 times a night, that gets old real quick. And as soon as we find out what the name of those pills, off the top of our head, we're not able to remember. But we'll find out, and there'll be a part 2 video, and we'll share that with you. And I would recommend speaking to your doctor, and if they okay it, and you can take these gel capsules, I'm going to tell you what a difference it will make in your sleep at night. You'll get more sleep, let's put it that way.
And also do a lot of research if you have this,
Yes.
especially if you were diagnosed with any fibrosis or interstitial lung disease. Because there have been a lot of research out there, even by Vanderbilt, and a lot of this stuff is over the counter. I'm not going to go into it because it's something, since I'm a nurse practitioner, that I shouldn't be touching on. But just know to do your research, and you'll find those studies out there and how to do those medications. Also, if you do start to take them, I would recommend advising your doctor or asking your doctor before doing it. A lot of them can cause your blood to thin, so you will have a lot of bruising. And you don't want to take it if you're taking any blood thinners, aspirin, anything like that. I mean, you don't want to combine it because it could cause some problems. But always check with your doctor first.
COVID's been hard on us. It's really something that it's affected us tremendously. Tremendously. In our careers have come to a sudden screeching halt for both my wife and myself, and her being a nurse practitioner. I'm a deputy sheriff with a police department here locally, and high school resource officer. And here, right now at this moment, kids are out of school for the summer, and I'm not able to work because of this. So it's a big contributing factor, and it's just know that not to give up, and know that it's going to get better. Okay, it's going to get better, and just hang in there. Don't give up. When you feel like quitting, don't quit. Remember, no retreat, no surrender. Okay, don't surrender to this COVID. Don't give up, and that's what I wanted to share with you as well.
And feel free to join support groups. I'm on several on Facebook. So if you have the COVID and its symptoms or any side effects from it, feel free to reach out to them, because it has been really good for me to be able to talk with somebody that is going through the same thing.
Did we tell them that we're going through it again right now?
No. Go ahead.
We are. Right now, we've been exposed. Unfortunately, we've been exposed to it again, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna hold on to our faith and in Jesus, and we're gonna lean on Him and to heal us and give us the strength, and put it all in His hands. Okay.
Yeah. So, and this is day 4, so we're just in that waiting period. Going to see if we have symptoms. Of course, we've got the at-home test that we can do,
right?
And then take those results to a provider. But
we're not in this for money. We wanted to stress that to you also with this video. This is just merely a video to share in hopes that we can maybe perhaps help someone, both physically with what they're going through with this COVID, and spiritually. We wanted to share a little bit of Jesus with you as well. Okay? So,
well, I guess that'll end this video. So, be watching for others. We'll have some more out soon. Have a great day.
Nice talking with you.
Bye-bye.
God bless.